Hi everyone, this is Zach. I'm going to do a trade recap for what I got up to on the 15th of October 2025. Here's the time. If you haven't watched the market blueprint, go ahead and watch that. But basically what I was looking at is two things. We had this profile, we had that HVN, and we had this one, and then we were opening in the LVN. When we were opening in the LVN, I had nothing to do, and then when we rotated to here, I tried longs, rotating from here to there. Those both got stopped at break even. And then I sat out for a bit. I was just confused in here. And then when the selling kicked in, and I saw we rejected from just about the point of control zone of this HVN, the seller stepped in at fair value, the fairest price of, or well, the most transacted price of this HVN. That's a good contextual clue. And then we just see big selling step in under the session's low of the day. We flush that. So my idea was pretty much now that we failed to hold inside here, we're going to rotate this thing, right? So once they started reoffering right here, I started building positions because I knew it was going to be a little choppy until they start moving, if they do. So it was a better idea for me to build positions. Here's how I did it. Why don't we go to a volume chart, a blank volume chart. Okay, so you can see right here is that this orange zone with the priority high, it is this area, this upper zone of this profile right here, right? So a resistance area, and we're highlighting this area right now. So let's go to it on something more granular. So that's how it looks, right? What I saw is that they're developing some type of range, and they're trying to build before they move down or move back up, right? So while they're building, while this thing is happening, you don't know if it's going up or down. But there are areas in the build of an accumulation or distribution where you can get a really good risk reward on both sides. So what I started doing is building positions around the upper edges of these profiles, of these ranges. So we have a range high, we have a range high. Again, we hit the range high and priority high, same zone. If I see a sell signal here, some type of absorption or exhaustion, I'm going to short it. So that's what I do, right? And because I was building a position, I didn't even really have a stop here. I'll just get out when I think it's done. So here I was close to getting out, but I didn't because I knew this could be the possible look above and fail. And when I saw them giving me an absorption signal, I took it short again. So I built there, I built more, and then I scaled out here. And then here I thought they were defending this and making that like some type of look below and then a rotate like that. So I closed the whole position. And they actually ended up dropping it. And when they dropped it, they reoffered the lower end of that zone. So I shorted it now for a balanced breakout. Now, if you're not familiar with how I'm getting these concepts, here they are. There's your range, reclaims, that type of thing. So in each one of these zones, there's a possible scenario going on, right? And when it hits one of these levels, I'm watching for what's going on. Okay, are they doing a balanced reclaim? If they are, what do I need to see on order flow? Absorption, right? So I start watching for that in that area. If I see it, I make a decision. So that's kind of how I'm approaching this. Yeah, so I shorted it right here. I shorted this one. This was just kind of like a lack of volume being built at this upper high, so I just thought they were exhausting. So I shorted it there. It was a good location, somewhat of a signal. So I shorted it. Turned out being a great time. Great timing. And then I added more to the position up here when they broke out through a bunch of volume, 131 on the offer, but they weren't moving anywhere. So it looked like a good area to short. Now my stop is right there. That's my hard stop now for both positions. And then it started selling. I took some off here when I thought they were absorbing at the lows, just like a risk management scale out. And it kept going. You know, sometimes these bounce and you feel like a genius, and sometimes they just keep going. I think that's kind of where time in the game, you know, experience kind of kicks in of what the right decision is. And sometimes you make the right decision, it doesn't even work, right? So I think this was the right decision to scale out right there. That's what I did. Same thing here. I thought this was the right decision to scale out. So we closed the position there. Now we're flat. So that trade and that one were flat. And then they continue the selling, so I take the reoffer right there, the balance breakout retest, which is this play, but it's just for something that's moving down, so it would look like that. Right, same entry. So, yeah, so I shorted it there, and then I scaled out just because I saw some absorption before the lows, and I was willing to put on more size again right here at 12.5, I believe it was. No, 12 exactly, because it was that prior low, right? This low was the one being defended, so I wanted to put it back on right there. I was getting a little too aggressive for sure here with the in and outs. So I took it off and they never ended up hitting my level. So I missed this portion of the move. And then they just kept selling and there was nothing to stop them until these singles right here. Now I talked about why these singles are important in the market blueprint, which is right here. What's going on there? Market blueprint. So we have about 40 people in this now. So what I've been doing is every single time I take one of these trades, like you can see, I entered right there. The second I enter, I quickly take a screenshot and I post it in here so you guys can see what the chart looks like when I'm taking the position. So I'm calling them out all in real time. I'm giving you my possible execution scenarios. See, we added more right there. I posted it right away. There's the 131 offer that wasn't going. And then I'm giving you my thoughts on when I'm going to trim and that type of thing. Yeah, so you can see I took the entry right there and right away I post it. So yeah, all this is being done in real time. If you want to check those out and if you want to check out the market blueprints right there as well. That's my morning thoughts. But to get back to the topic, why these singles were important, just go watch market blueprint. Okay, so, and then we took it short. The short was, again, another example of exhaustion rather than absorption, like just a lack of contracts being traded. So I thought, okay, this is a right area. I can get really cheap risk. I'm seeing what I kind of need to see. Let's try it. That was for this one right here. So I did that and then I closed it and then I wasn't able to get back in somewhere around here because I wanted to short that. They never hit it. So I had to sit it out and then they just kept selling and they were going to go to the singles, or it seemed like they were going to the singles. So I was looking for ways to get in more. I saw this like mini range developing and I thought they had done a balance breakout retest, that type of thing. And I was trying to enter like the retest part. And I just got my timing a little wrong. And because of that, I got ticked out. Kind of sucks, but you know that's the game. You win some, you lose some. So then it just kept flushing, and I was trying to stay as patient as I can to wait for the right opportunity to play the continuation. And then here I saw the selling just continue to pick up, so I took a momentum scalp. My entry is right there, and my stop is right above that candle, so right there. I scaled out here when it looked like they were turning, and then I added this position back on because it was just one contract here, closed it, and then I put it right back on because I could see the selling continue to pick up. So I wrote it all the way down, and then when they were popping up, I thought maybe they're done. They're going to try establishing a mini range there, try and do that type of thing. So I took it off, and unfortunately, they just kept going. And then they hit the low. This was the right spot for them to at least make an attempt. Now, I wouldn't call this low of day when I was seeing it, you know. I would not call it low of day when I was seeing it occur. However, it is an area where low of day can happen, or at least some type of reversal, and then eventually they take it out, you know, that type of thing. So I was fine with playing it there, trying to just scalp a couple points off of it with a very tight stop. Maybe my stop was like 1 or 1.5 points, something like that. I'm not using hard stops in these scenarios. I'm just kind of finessing it in a way. Okay, so we took a long there. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to hold the whole thing. So closed it there, and then this is where I started getting a little too aggressive. I saw this pivot high, and I thought, okay, well, maybe they're gonna create a big range, and it looked like they were stuffing right there. So I short, and I'm looking for a rotation back down, get stopped out. That's completely fine. And then I tried it again at 700s, or well, right above 700s, because I thought that's a good area for them to reverse it at. I thought I was seeing something on the order flow. Not enough structure. I wouldn't take this trade again. Like I'm kind of just fucking blind bidding a high. So not a great trade. Really not a great trade. Like this one's fine because there's some structure I'm trying to defend with. But I'm just blind bidding here. There's no structure I'm working with. It's just clear skies. So would not take that trade again. And then here, okay, now we have some structure. They're failing to hold above it. So I short it. And then I closed it out because it looked like they were holding that low right here. And I still wasn't convinced that this was um, the next leg before we flush was this part. I wasn't convinced it was right there. I was more convinced of up here. So I was being more light with these positions, and then I kept seeing the absorption, so I just started scalping around at this point. I took it long. I was targeting there. Sorry, I was targeting there, this one, and it just stuffed it, missed it by like 2 ticks, and then it came back, so I just closed it at 1 hour profit. Yeah, and then eventually they hit that zone, this one right here, and I thought, okay, it's a good area for the sellers to reload and go. So I started watching the order flow and started watching like candle structure and stuff. The first one, I had some structure right here I was leaning against. I was trying to take it down. Just guess I was a little early. It's just a loss. Like it is what it is. It's not, there's nothing I can really say that was too bad about this trade. We can take a look at the order flow at 2:55 p.m. EST. Here we go. Yeah, so you can see I'm seeing some absorption here, and I'm struggling to pop it through. So I short it, and then it turns out it's a little early, so I have to close it there. But right when I close, I see another big order get thrown on 221 on the offer, and no volume. It's still in a sell zone, so I tried again. Some could say I'm being a little too aggressive here, but I think it was a good location, so I was fine with it. And this time I'm having a wider stop. One contract position, short again. And this is kind of where I started losing my edge. Like I was getting a little mentally exhausted, for lack of a better term. Like you're throwing on a lot of size. Not a lot, but each one of these decisions can cost me a couple $100. So it becomes a little bit mentally taxing. But yeah, I shorted again there, and then I I guess I thought they were defending that and trying to go even higher and then stuff it. So I just got too cute with it and freaking closed it right there. Yeah, just not great really. Like even here, if I closed it, I would be better than here. I don't know why I closed it there. And then I tried it again and I got stopped again. Same concept as that one. So this range I started getting a little chopped up. And then finally I could see, okay, well they made their range, or well they have their range, right? And you can see that when they break out from this range, they retest it and then they go, right? And what setup is that? This one. Retest and go. Balance breakout. This is for the long side. This is for the short side. They break out of the range, they retest the range high, and then they go. So that's what I'm looking for here. There's your retest. And then I throw on 2 contracts this time. And here, this became interesting. Like the volume was drying up, and then the selling started picking up on like the 1-minute chart, or on the 1-minute CVD. You can see huge selling started stepping in here. I just scaled out here because it was that low prior low and I was seeing absorption, and then here because they took out that little pivot. This one. So I trailed my stop under that, and when they took that out, I closed the position. But if we go to like a, yeah, you can see the selling is beginning to step up in these areas, and that was starting to be my signal for the timing of these shorts, right? Like the sellers are stepping in. I think this one is right there. So you can see the sellers have already stepped in, and they're just going down, pulling in, going down, pulling in, going down. That's what they're doing here. So I just got in on the pull in, as well as it made sense on the balance breakout retest. This ended up being about a $3,000 day for me. So pretty happy with that. I was just scalping around for the most part. A lot of wins, a couple of losses. Let's see. 1 win, 2 win, 3 win, 4 win, 5 win, 6 win, 7 win, 8 win, 9 win, 10, 11. 11 wins and 1 loss, 2 loss, 3 loss, 4 loss, 5 loss, and 5 losses. So like a 55% win rate, 50% win rate. Can't complain about that. And yeah, what else do I want to say? Not much, yeah. I just, every single one of these trades that I was taking in real time was being called out. Everything from the winners to the losers, all of it being called out in real time. Yeah, you can see like right when I'm entering these, I'm calling them out. So if you're interested, join the Discord, completely free. I just go in here. I like talking to you guys. Shout out to Brian and Double Smoked and 12 and H1N1 and Merker and Lay Fly and Lionel and everyone else that gets involved in having conversations with me. Trading can be a lonely game, and being surrounded with people who take this stuff seriously is, first of all, an honor. You guys are some great traders, so to associate myself and learn from you guys and all that, it really is an honor. And second of all, when you're surrounded with excellence, you become excellent. And that is the way I like to think about things. So, hope you guys found that helpful. Stay posted in the live commentary, stay posted in the Discord, email me, whatever you want. I'm here. So, peace out, everyone.